In this section we are trying to solve rational equation and radical equation. Okay, we do have one more rational equation. So this is our rational equation and we have to solve this rational equation. Solving means we are trying to find a value of x, okay, such that when we substitute the value of x in this equation we get a true statement. Okay, and whenever we are solving a rational equation, what is our first step? We find the common denominator. Okay, so we have a three expression. So this is one expression, this is second, and we have third expression. Now let's make a list of each denominator. So we have x, then we have x minus 2. So first denominator is x, the next denominator is x minus 2. And what is the third denominator? 1. Okay, so we have 1. Now finding common denominator means we are finding an expression that is divisible by each of these denominator. Okay, now in order to find the common denominator, at first we factorize each denominator. Now we have x. Is it in a simplest form? Can we factorize x? X is in the simplest form, right? So we take x as a factor of itself. We have x minus 2. What about the factor of x minus 2? This is also in the simplest form, right? And the degree of x is 1. If you see degree of x 1, then it's always in the simplest form. If you have a power 2, 3 or 4, then you have to try to factorize. Okay, so this is also in simplest form. So we will take x minus 2 as a 1 factor, and we have a 1. 1 is a factor of itself, so 1 is a factor. Now let's find the common denominator, and our common denominator is, we look for the common factor in each denominator. Do we have any common factor in each denominator? Do we have any common factor in each denominator? No. Now, do we have any common factor in at least two denominator? Which denominator? First and second. Do we have anything common in first and second? X. We are talking about a factor. Okay, now here, so in first denominator x is a factor, but in second denominator this x is not a factor. This whole expression x minus 2 is a factor. Okay, to be in a factor form you must have in a product form. Like in between x and 2 there is a negative sign. If it was x times 2, then yes, x is a factor for x minus 2. But in between x minus 2 we have negative. Okay, so for the first denominator x is a factor. For this denominator, this expression x minus 2 expression is one factor. Okay, so x and 2, they are not a factor for x minus 2. So there is nothing common, so we write down each factor as our common denominator. So we have 1, then the x, then x minus 2. Okay, or just you can get rid of 1, right? 1 times x is 1 x. So our common denominator is x times x minus 2. Now we use this common denominator to multiply each expression. So let me write first expression 1 over x, and we multiply this expression by our common denominator x times x minus 2. Now let's write the second expression. We have equals to 2 divided x minus 2, and multiply this expression by common denominator x times x minus 2. And the third expression is 3, and multiply this 3 by the common denominator x times x minus 2. You find the common denominator, then you multiply each expression by that common denominator. Then after that you always get rid of denominator. So this x cancel, x minus 2 cancel. So after cancelling we have 1 times x minus 2, that is x minus 2, equals to 2 times x, 2x, plus 3 times x, 3x times x minus 2. Find the common denominator, multiply each expression by common denominator, and once you multiply by a common denominator, there is no more denominator. Okay, you get rid of every denominator. Okay, any question up to here? Now we simplify, get rid of parentheses, collect the like terms, and solve the equation. Okay, so we have parentheses on the right side, so let's distribute this 3x for each of these two terms. So on the left we have x minus 2 as it is, we have 2x, positive 3x times x, that is positive 3x square, positive 3x minus positive 3x times minus 2, that is minus 6x. Now what is the type of equation? What type of equation we have? Quadratic. Okay, now let's solve this quadratic equation, and to solve it we make a 0 in one side so that we can use quadratic formula or factorization. So let's make 0 on left side. For that you subtract x on a both side and you add 2 on a both side. So this is 0, this is 0, this is x. Okay, so this is 0, this is 0. So we have 0 on the left side. Now let me write square term first. Okay, we want to always write in an order, so it's x square. Then we have a like terms, so 2x minus 6x minus x. What is that? 2x minus 6x, that is minus 4x, and minus x, that is minus 5x. Then we have plus 2. Okay, now we use a quadratic formula, or you can use a factorization. And if you want to use a quadratic formula, you need to know what are a, b, c. What is a? A is 3. What is b? Negative 5, coefficient of x. And what is c? 2. Positive 2. Now let's substitute this in our quadratic formula. Okay, our formula is negative b plus minus b square minus 4ac divided by 2a. So we have negative, and our b is negative 5, so make sure inside parentheses plus minus b square, that is negative 5 square minus 4 times a, which is 3 times c, which is 2, divided by 2 times a, which is 3. Okay, now let's simplify. So we have negative times negative 5, that is positive 5, plus minus negative 5 square. What is that? Is positive 25. Okay, so you have to square negative and you have to square 5. So we have positive 25, then negative 4 times 3 times 2, that is negative 24, divided by 6. So this is plus 5 plus minus. So we have square root of 25 minus 24, that's 1, and square root of 1 is 1, right? Divided by 6. Now we take positive first. So 5 plus 1 divided by 6. You take negative 5 minus 1 divided by 6. So 5 plus 1, that is 6. 6 divided by 6, that is 1. 5 minus 1, that is 4, divided by 6. And if you want to simplify 4 over 6, you can simplify as a, so our final answer is 1, and you can simplify 4 over 6 as a 2 over 3. So these two are the solution for the rational equation. Okay. Okay, let me know if you have any question. And let's do one more, okay? Has anyone carried book by any chance? Okay. So let's go ahead and solve one example of one rational equation, then we'll start solving radical equation, okay? The next equation, this is the radical equation. And before this, let's go ahead and solve one more. Okay, at first, does anyone have any question on this one? Okay, now I'm pretty sure you don't have enough space on your worksheet, so just try to find space on it. Okay, or if you have a separate scratch paper, you can still use it. So let's solve one more. So we have 1 divided by x square minus, positive 4x minus 5 plus 6 divided x plus 5 equals to 1 over x minus 1. So we have this rational equation, and we are asked to solve this rational equation. Now the very first step, we find the common denominator. Okay, to find the common denominator, we factorize each denominator. So let's make a list of 3 denominators. So first denominator is x squared plus 4x minus 5. So this is our first denominator. The next denominator, x plus 5, and the next denominator, x minus 1. Now let's factorize x squared plus 4x minus 5. What method do we use to factorize this trinomial? FOIL. This is quadratic form and the coefficient of square is 1. So we use a FOIL. Using FOIL, we get a 2 factor the first term whose product is x squared. What are those first terms? X and x, right? So first term has to be x, so that is product is x squared. Now the next we find 2 numbers whose product is -5 and sum is +4. Think of a 2 number whose product is -5 and sum is +4. -1, +5. -1 times +5, that is -5. -1 plus +5, that is +4. So -1, +5. Now we have the next denominator, x plus 5. This is in a simplest form. So x plus 5 itself is a factor. For x minus 1, this is in a simplest form. So x minus 1 is in a simplest form. So x minus 1 is a factor of itself. Okay, now what will be common denominator? So you look for the factor which is common in each denominator. Do we have that common factor in each denominator? We don't have. Now let's take, now do we have common factor in 2 denominator? Yes, right? So we have x minus 1 common. You write down that once, okay? So you are writing that once. And then next here we have x plus 5 common. So you write down that once. And this is your common denominator. And now we don't have any remaining factor to write for common denominator, okay? So we have x minus 1 common, so we just write down once. We have x plus 5 common, and we write down it once. So x minus 1 times x plus 5 is the common denominator. Now we multiply each expression by this common denominator, okay? So you multiply, so let me add here, by x minus 1 times x plus 5. Make sure you are multiplying every terms, okay, by this common denominator. X minus 1 times x plus 5. Okay, now once you multiply by common denominator, there is no more denominator. Now in the first expression, are these two exactly two same thing? So is it x minus, sorry, this is x minus 1 times x plus 5. What do you think of these two this expression? Aren't these exactly same thing? It's yes, okay, see? So we factorize this expression and we had x minus 1 times x plus 5. So these two are the same thing, means we can cancel, right? So this and this cancel. Now in the next one we have x plus 5, x plus 5 cancel, x minus 1, x minus 1 cancel. Do not cancel x separately, 5 separately. Okay, you are x plus 5 is one factor in the numerator and x plus 5 is the other factor in a denominator. Okay, to cancel it has to be always in a product form. Okay, now let's rewrite this equation. So we have 1 from first expression, then we have 6 times x minus 1 equals to 1 times x plus 5. Now let's get rid of parentheses. We have 1, distribute 6 times x, 6x, 6 times negative 1, negative 6 equals to, you distribute 1 times x, 1 times positive 5, positive 5. This is the linear equation, right? Now let's look for, so let's collect the terms with x in one side and constant on other side. So let's collect x on the right side. So subtract 6x on both side, subtract 5 on both side. So this is gone, this is gone. So 1 minus 6, that is minus 5 and minus 5, minus 10 equals to x minus 6, that is minus 5x. Now you divide both side by negative 5. So this is positive 2 equals to x. So x equals to 2 is the solution for this rational equation. Find the common denominator, multiply every term with common denominator, and after that you will have either linear equation or quadratic equation. Okay, so this is how we solve rational equation. Okay, any question? All right, now let's go to our radical equation. Can I go to the next example here? Okay, so here we have an equation. Okay, we all know what make this expression, that is this statement, as an equation, right? How we know this is an equation? From equals to sign, right? So from this equals to sign, this is an equation and we are solving for x. Now how do we know this is a radical equation? Okay, now we have a radical here, right? So we have a square root. So this is a radical equation. So if your equation has a radical expression, then yes, it's a radical. Now, if you have a radical equation, the very first thing is that we collect the radical terms in one side and the remaining terms on the other side. Okay, so how many terms do we have at first? So we have this first expression, right? So we have this second expression, we have this one, we have this one. Now, out of these 4 terms, which one is the radical expression? The first one, right, is square root of 3x plus 1. So we collect that radical expression in one side and the remaining terms on the other side. Now it means how we have to get rid of positive 2 from left side. How do we get rid of positive 2 from left side? We subtract 2. Now this is square root of 3x plus 5 equals to, this is 0, x minus 1 minus 2, that is minus 3. Okay, this is the first step. You collect the radical expression in one side and the remaining expression on the other side. Now the next step is that you have to know the index of this radical expression. What is the index of this radical expression? 2. Now, once you have that index, we use that 2. Okay, it means we square this both sides of this equation. So, since the index is 2, you are squaring on both sides. If the index is 3, you take third power. If the index is 4, then you take fourth power on both sides. Okay, so index is 2, so we take second power on both sides. Now, on the right side, we have our 2 terms. So make sure to have parentheses, okay? Do not square like separately x square and 3 square. That is not correct. Make sure to have parentheses. Okay, now on the left side, we have a square root here and we have a square. So this goes away and we have 3x plus 1. Now once you square the square root, the square root is gone. Okay, now on the right side we have x minus 3 squared, that is x minus 3 times x minus 3, right? Now we use FOIL to simplify right side. On the left side we have 3x plus 1 equals to, let's use FOIL, so x times x square x times negative 3x, negative 3 times x, negative 3x, negative 3 times negative 3, that is positive 9. Okay, now what type of equation we have? Quadratic, right? So we have a power 2 on the right side, so it's a quadratic. So let's make 0 in one side, so let's make 0 on left side. So subtract 3x on both side and subtract 1 on both side. So this is 0 equals to, so let me write a square term x square first. Then we have this like term, this is like term, this is like terms, and what is that? 9x and positive 9 plus minus 1, that is positive 8. Okay, any question? Now we are solving, so this is a quadratic equation. What method do you want to use? I think we can factorize right side very easily, so let's go with factorization. Okay, and you can always use a quadratic formula. So on the right side we use a FOIL to factorize. First term is the x. Now we know the two terms whose product is 8 and sum is negative 9. Do we know that? Two number whose product is positive 8 and sum is negative 9. Okay, yes, so negative 1 times negative 8, that is positive 8, negative 1 plus negative 8, that is negative 9. Now once you have the factor, we take each factor and set it equals to 0. So first factor is x minus 1 and set it equals to 0. Second factor is x minus 8, set it equals to 0. Now you add 1 in this equation, you add 8 on this equation. From first equation we get 1, from second equation we get 8, and these two are the solution for this radical equation. So at the end you will always end up getting a quadratic equation or a linear equation. So you should be good at solving linear equation and quadratic equation. Okay, so if you are not factorization, you should know factorization. Okay, that's really important. Okay, any question on this one? All right, now let's go to our next example. This is also a radical equation. We have a cube root. Okay, now the very first step is we collect radical expression in one side and the remaining terms is on the other side. And for this one we can skip that, right? So we only have radical expression on the left side and we have non-radical expression on the right side. So we can skip first step. Now second step is we find the index of this radical expression. Now what is the index of this radical expression? 3. And we use 3. Now we raise third power on both sides. So you cube on you find the cube, or you raise third power on both sides. You always use the index. Okay, once you use that index you can get rid of radical sign. Now once you cube, now the cube root of x plus 3 cube is x plus 3. Now this cube root and this cube is gone. So we have x plus 3 equals to 5 cube, 125. This is the linear equation. We know how to solve it. Subtract 3 and we have the answer. X is 122. This is the solution for this radical equation. Collect the radical expression in one side, remaining expression on the other side. Then you find the index, use that index to raise power on a both side. Okay, after that you get rid of radical sign and then simplify. Okay, so if we had something like fifth power of x minus 2 equals to, okay, let's say 6. So this is one more example here, and we have fifth root. Okay, so first step, we get rid of this negative 2 from left side, right? So you add 2 on both sides. So we have fifth root of x minus 2 equals to 8. Now what number do we pick to raise power on both sides? 5. Okay, 5 is the index. Okay, and this is the index. Okay, this is the index. So we take fifth power on both sides. So we take fifth power on both sides. This fifth power and this fifth root gone. We have x minus 2 equals to, okay, 8 to the power 5. That is a big number. Let me write this as a, how much you said?
32,768.
Okay, 32,768. Okay, then you add 2 on both sides and we have the solution. X is 32,770. So this is the solution for this radical equation. Okay, any question in solving radical equation? You will get one rational equation, one radical equation on your exam. Okay, so you should know how to solve rational equation. You should know how to solve radical equation. Okay. Now, this is something most of us don't like, right? Old problems. Okay. Let's try to solve here. 4 students plan to rent a minivan for a weekend trip and equally share the rental cost of the van. By adding 2 more people, each person can save $10 on their share of the cost. How much is the total rental cost of the van? So you are 4 and you plan to rent a minivan. You divide the rental cost equally. Okay. Now, if you could add 2 more in your group, the rental cost for each person is reduced by $10. Now, our target is finding the total rental cost of a van. Is this something you can do on your head? What will be the rental cost of a van? So you are 4. How much?
60.
Okay, let's see. So if the is 60, if you are 4, how what will be the cost? 60 divided by 4, $15, right? But if you add 2 more, when you are 6, what will be cost? Is $10. But you save like a $5 if it is 60. But in this case, you are saving $10. Now let's try. We don't know. Now let's call X is our total cost of our rental van. Okay, so let's call, so the total cost of a van be X. We don't know what is that. Okay, now if X is the total rental cost of a van, how much each of 4 students will pay for that rental van? X is the total cost, and you are 4 in a group. So what will be a cost for each of you? X is any number, okay? So that's a number. Do not get scared of X. That's a number. X is the total cost. You are 4 in a group. Now what will be a cost for each of you? you divide x by 4, right? Like, okay, now let's take a number. Like, for example, if $100 is the total cost and you are 4 in a group, how do you find how much each of you pay? You divide 100 by 4, you get 25, and you pay 25 each, right? Now in this case, we have x as a rental cost. So when you are 4, each of you pay x divided by 4. Okay? Now, when you are 6, what will be the cost for each of you? It will be x divided by 6. Do you all agree here? Do you have any question? Now, so when we, these are the cost for each of you, okay? So when we are adding two more people means when we have 6 here, the cost for each of you is reduced by $10. You save $10 means cost for you is saved by $10, right? It is reduced by $10. So this is the, okay, so this is the cost when you are 4, okay? This is the cost when you are 6, okay? Now when you are 6, the cost, or you save $10. Saving $10 means your cost is reduced by $10. It means from initial cost, so this is our cost at first, and this cost is reduced by $10, and this will be equals to our new cost. Or, okay, or we can do it in a different way. Now, and so you have a x cost of a van. When you are 4, each of you pay x divided by 4, right? And when you are adding 2 more people, so the cost of van will be x divided by 6. You save $10 means, so you save $10 means you are adding 10. This is the cost at first, okay, when you are at 4. And when you add 2 more people, you save $10 means plus 10. And these two are the same expression. This is the another way. Okay? And these two are the same equation, right? Like from the first equation, if you add 10 on both sides, you will get a second equation. Okay? Now our target is solving this equation and finding the value of x. Okay, now let's solve. You can take any equation. Is same. So we have x divided by 4 equals to x divided by 6 plus 10. Okay, now this is not a rational equation, but we have a denominator, and the process of solving is exactly same. We find the common denominator. So finding common denominator means finding a number which is divisible by each of denominator. Now, can you think of a number which is divisible by 4 and 6? 24. Do we have a smaller number? 12. Okay, so always try to pick the smallest one. Okay, so 12 is the common denominator. Okay, now we multiply each expression by 12. Multiply 12, multiply 12, multiply 12. Okay, so here x, so 4 divided by 12 is 3, 6 divided by 12 is 2. So we have 3x equals to 2 times x, 2x plus 120. This is a linear equation. You subtract 2x on both sides. We have x equals to 120. So 120 is the total cost of a van. Now if you are 4, what will be a cost for each of you? 120 divided by 4. That's $30, right? Now when you are 6, the total cost would be 20, right? So you are saving $10 by adding 2 more people. So this is how we can solve this one here. Okay. Any question? Do not get scared of old problems, okay? Take it slow. It takes time, but it's not difficult. Okay, before we go to the next, do you want to practice? So here we practice, we had a linear, sorry, not linear, we had a rational equation and a radical equation. Do you still want to practice or like have more problems? Which one, rational or radical? Okay, okay, so I'll give one example and I want you to practice first, and I want you to solve it in a group, and then I will help you, okay?